on to the financial items. Do we have a motion to approve the motion to approve the vouchers and financial statements for March, or any questions?
I had one question on the budget blinds. That was $1,232.50. What were they just new blinds that we got for the teen room, or?
Yeah, we put new blinds in the teen room and also in the study room, and there was one repair.
Okay.
Two.
And the 11,000 to KPC is the new furniture, correct?
Yes.
Is that all?
Yes. Yep, that included all of the taking down the computer carols and delivering those to Tri-County Action Community, Tri-County Action Community Agency, and we purchased also some wood shelves. We converted that glass shelving unit in there and put wood shelving. They should be paid in full.
I'll make the motion that we approve the vouchers and checklist for March, or yes, for March.
Now, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 I heard Doug first on that one.
Yeah, I got it.
So it was Doug Salisbury,
Yeah,
Yes.
Doug, and then who seconded that?
Michelle
Yes.
made the motion, Doug seconded.
I'm doubling up my notes too, so just in case we miss something.
All right, the KDLA monthly report.
Okay. Do you want to go over that? Do you want me to, Hannah?
No, you good.
Okay. So the Senate Bill 150 was passed and went into effect on March 30th of 2020. And this gives libraries permission to hold board meetings via phone or video conferencing. So that's why we're doing this right now, to keep everybody safe. KPLA, which is Kentucky Public Library Association, in conjunction with KDLA, wants some feedback from trustees about doing a statewide initiative to waive library fines and fees. So it'd be a full amnesty. So any late fees that libraries have, or anything that was damaged or lost, they would like to see libraries step up and just waive those fees, so that when libraries reopen, there is no barrier for people to come back and use library services. Now for us, that would mean we have not been very great about erasing fines and getting rid of those. KPLA and ALA suggest that every 3 years you're not going to get those items back, and it's very difficult to take somebody to a claims court or collection agency for that, and they recommend just waiving those fines. So we have not done that. So we have about $50,000 on our books for fines. Probably about 15,000 of that is from the last 2 years. Those are accounts that we could, if we wanted to go that direction, and go to a collection agency and try to get the money or the items returned. So that's something that they are wanting to get some feedback from our trustees and libraries from. Do you guys have any initial thoughts on that?
What is the benefit of that? Let's say pros versus cons. What is we bring in as opposed to what we lose each year on unreturned items? Do we have a value? Do we have a value set up to the books that don't come back, that we don't ever get back, to offset or to show the loss? Do we make a loss column somewhere for those things? Is what I'm trying to get. I guess what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't have those separated out. So that roughly $15,000 that we've lost in the last 2 years is is a combination of fines, like late fees and lost or damaged items. I don't think I have a way to separate that out with our system. But I will say that every year we probably bring in about $5,000 in late fees or lost items, collections. So it wouldn't be a huge amount of money for us if we had to spend the money for a collection agency to come in and to recuperate that money, we would probably break about even. So
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what that was my question.
you know, that I think would be a really great act of goodwill for our community. I think one of the drawbacks, you know, somebody in the community might say, well, this is a misuse of our funds and we should be trying to get this back. But the reality is you're probably not going to want those materials back after 2 to 3 years. And the money that you're going to spend trying to get it back is going to negate any thing that, you know, any positive results from that is what I'm trying to say.
So if we vote for waiving them, does that take all of it off the books that's already on the books that from the last couple of years, or just going forward?
It would erase. So they were suggesting that on the day that we close, we would get rid of any fines on the day up before the day we close. And then moving forward, you know, so if people didn't return items when we reopened, then that would start. Currently, though, we do not collect late fees. The only thing we collect late fees for are DVDs and our more expensive items like our launch pads and playaways. So we do not collect late fees for books.
So it would wipe away the 15,000 that we already have on the books.
That and the previous years that we've not erased from even before we got our new library, our catalog system. So there's probably about $50,000 on there. If you want to wait and I can get exact figures for you so we can put them in the minutes, we could do that. But I kind of want to get an idea of which way you're leaning so we can have a kind of a better answer for our public.
The amnesty ends after we reopen.
Mhm.
Late fees will reinstate once we're open.
Mhm.
I think it's a great idea.
I do too.
People,
I would be all for it. I mean, we haven't had the funds anyway. We're not collecting
Right,
them.
it's not like we're counting on those to pay a salary or something. So
Yeah.
I would say go ahead and waive that too, up to that point of reopening.
Yeah, I would be in favor of waiving the fees. Just curious on, out of all the circulation, what kind of ratio is there for those that accumulate late fees? And do you have such a number as that?
You mean late fees versus lost items?
I guess a total of everything that goes out, how much of what goes out of the building
Is lost.
is a loss? Yeah.
I don't have that information and I'm not sure if I can get that from our catalog system. I can try.
Well, it's not necessary to put in extra work for it. I was just curious. I know some places they have quite a high ratio of lost materials, and do we even have that in the budget to replace those kinds of materials that are lost?
We just incorporated into our regular book, our budget for our books and things like that.
Okay, but it's not designated a replacement of a loss.
No.
Okay.
do we need a motion today then to approve the waiving of all library fines and fees until we reopen?
I will move that we do waive.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
But we all waive, is that right?
Ah,
Yeah.
Uh,
We'll always-
under your notes, Dina.
Okay, so just a quick update for where we're at with our library. We closed for in-person services on March 27th in response to an executive order from Governor Beshear. So we did not totally keep staff members out of the building. We have people coming in 2 at a time to maintain the building, answer phone calls, emails, working on some cataloging projects, and we're practicing those social distancing guidelines that we've been taught. There are those who are immunocompromised are working from home, and so everybody is still working pretty much their normal hours. We've just had to use a few of those emergency closing hours to keep everybody's paycheck up to their full wage. And then we're having 3 to 5 staff meetings through Zoom a week. So this has really helped, I think, with morale and keeping everybody communicating on what's going on. So all of my circulation desk staff, who are mostly the part-timers, they've been, their job description has definitely increased. They are helping to create online programs and to support our programmers who have a lot on their plate. So summer reading, I guess you can imagine that we're not going to be able to have the same summer reading program that's already planned. We have several vendors coming in for programs, and we're working with them to see if they can do digital programs for us so that we continue to have a summer reading program. And then we also have our outreach vehicle is also helping with the Meals on Wheels program, which is on Mondays, and we're helping to deliver food to over 70 people. So we're still doing quite a bit of work right now and trying to keep everybody busy. So it's been a learning curve for everybody, but everybody's doing well and doing their best. We do have a couple of issues with internet. We have one part-time person that does not have adequate internet at home, and so she's working half of her hours. So is there any questions or concerns there with how we're doing things?
I enjoy seeing all the programs on Facebook. You can tell you all are working really hard.
We are having fun with that and trying to be as creative as possible. We understand that people have technology, there's gaps there, but trying to push out stuff that they can do at home and have fun with. So
Is there a list of the virtual programs that you're broadcasting anywhere? Is it on the website, or because I've only seen one program. That was Jackie's program. I haven't seen anything else.
So yes, we are building. We've got quite a few programs now that are available. They're actual videos or virtual stuff that's being planned. Those are available on our website, and we're using our social media to push that content out as well.
Okay.
So last month we passed the public health emergencies procedures or policy, and because we didn't have any information from the government on how this was going to play out or how to do things. But since the Emergency Paid Leave and Emergency Family Medical Leave Act was recently updated and from the federal government, we have a lot more information. And we've got a lot more information from the state too on how unemployment is going to be handled. So I'm working with our lawyer, Crystal Hines, to see how to implement those. Of course, they're law, we have to follow that. But how does that work in with our current policy, and what are we required to do? So hopefully I'll have more answers for you guys in our next board meeting in May. if you guys are okay with continuing to follow that, the public health emergency policy as far as paying staff members through the end of May, that would be very helpful for us, and we wouldn't have to worry about wages or salaries or anything like that. This is going to be a lot longer problem than we anticipated. I figured, a couple weeks we'll be back at it, and that's not what we're seeing. So we do have several staff members that are teaching kids at home and trying to work full-time and put in a full-time 40 hours a week, and it's exhausting. I don't know that that is sustainable long-term. Luckily, we only have about one more month of school left. So that's good. But the flip side is there's no daycare either available for staff with small kids. So that's going to affect us as well. So there's some holes in our policy of how to handle situations like currently if somebody gets sick, but it's not due to COVID-19, how do we handle that? Do we still require them to take their sick leave? So those are some things that we need to work out. So how do you guys feel? Are you guys okay to continue with the public health emergency policy and continue to pay staff members through the end of May or end of June? How do you want to proceed with that?
I say we take it month by month, go through the end of May and reassess in May's meeting and see where we're at then. And if anything changes with your staff that needs to be addressed, definitely.
Okay. I am going to have a conversation with them in the next week or two. I think it would be good to share with them some options that they have, especially with our people that have children at home. I was in an HR meeting the other day, and Kentucky is doing a work share program where you can cut back the hours that the staff members working. They could still file for that unemployment and still be eligible for that $600 a week supplement from the federal government, and that's up to four months at a time. And I think some of our staff members who are really burning the candle at both ends with children, that might be something that they might need to look into. And then for the long-term situation, if we're going into July and August in the long term, I think we probably need to look at furloughing as well and see what compare. Is it really going to help us out much as far as money is concerned if we furlough our employees with an intent to rehire? So I just think we need to be very careful with our taxpayers' money. I think it would be really frustrating as a taxpayer if I knew somebody was getting paid for a full wage and was working part-time. I think we could probably get a little bit of blowback from that. So do you guys have any input on that?
Do the small business loan or the small business laws apply to the library, or is it different because it's a government entity?
We're still getting information on that. We have a pretty healthy budget right now, our healthy emergency stores. If this is long-term though, I think we probably need to be really careful with our money. It's hard to justify paying staff coming into our building when there's no patrons coming in. So I'm hoping this the restrictions will loosen a little bit, and we could feel like we can go back to curbside in the next month or two. If that happens, we can justify, I think, keeping on more staff than we have right now, or than we can justify keeping on the staff, but if we can't reopen and start doing some service curbside or something, I think that will be hard to justify keeping everybody on. So.
You know, there's your staff and their needs, and they said you're talking to Crystal. I'd like to see a policy, or, you know, based on what your suggestions are, what your staff needs and what the budget fits. Obviously you can't make any actions based on this meeting, but I think that we need to see a policy of what you think the staff needs and what the, you know,
right.
what the budget can meet as well. And you said Crystal's helping you with that?
Yes, I reached out to her a couple days ago. Of course, she's still researching it. There's so much information out there right now. And frankly, libraries are just barely considering this long-term plan as how do they react to this financially. So that's why I didn't have anything prepared for you guys this time. I apologize. Hopefully in a month, though, we'll have more information and we can make a better decision on that.
So each library, then, this won't be a state policy. Each library will do their own policy regarding their employees. Is that correct?
And yes, and it's not necessary. It will be passed as a budget item. So what I will do is I'll create a budget with keeping everybody on and through the next year and doing everything as normal. And I will, I'm going to do a 10% budget cut. That's what's recommended from our accountant. And then I will also do another budget where we, you know, these are the recommendations if we do need to furlough people or lay off people so I don't know that it has to be a policy, but we'll definitely have it we've got to pass a budget by the end of June anyways. So we'll have to make that decision by then. So I don't want to stress anybody out, but I do think it's something that we need to consider. And when you're in your business meetings and thinking about, you know, how this impacts your personal life, but as well as the library, be thinking, you know, could this be applicable? I would love to have feedback from each of you and feedback from our community as well, what they want from us and need from us. So, okay, so while we've been closed, we've really tried to continue the repair and maintenance of the building. Of course, grass has to be cut, so yard work is continuing to be done. And our staff are helping with the flower beds. They usually run me ragged in the summer, but they've offered to help with that, and that's been really great. Trying to keep our cleaning service as busy as possible. They have taken on other tasks that are not in their contract right now. I don't know if we can continue to keep them busy though, so that might be another service we need to pull back on. I do have a quote. Excuse me.
Do you use them quarterly, Dina? The ServPro people?
ServPro,
we
do about. Sorry, what was that?
Are they used quarterly? Utilized quarterly? Do they come in quarterly and clean, or do they come in at random, or when they clean, what do they do?
ServPro does our carpets, and they do our furniture, and that has only been once a year. So.
Oh, okay.
And then I added, and that last year, I think that just our carpets and furniture cost us around $1,800. I asked them to come in and really sanitize all of our bathrooms and stalls, and that was an additional $500, I think, around there.
Okay.
So for all of that, it would be $2,409 to do that. And while we were closed, I thought, let's go ahead and get that done. And then we don't have to close the building when we reopen and work around people.
Is there a motion to approve the quote from ServPro to clean the carpets, furniture, and all bathrooms and stalls?
I'll make it. This is Michelle.
Who is that, Michelle?
Yes.
I'll second.
I'll second.
That one was the tie.
Who are you gonna put down, Pam? It's either between you or Doug.
Doug's fine.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So
I've
Dina,
lost
are you saying,
I've lost my picture of all of you, so I can still hear you. I don't know if you can see me or not, but I can't see any of you right now. My Wi-Fi fluctuated some and knocked me off.
We can hear you. I can.
Okay,
I can see him.
I can see you too.
okay.
So we're good.
Well, I'm at a disadvantage. I can't see anybody.
so
So-
Dina, are you saying that we have, I think what Pam was maybe getting at is, do you have another cleaning service that comes in weekly or something that does some cleaning that you were referring to as maybe not being able to keep them busy?
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
We have
okay.
that city carpet cleaning comes in, and they've been cleaning our staff bathrooms and are doing the vacuuming and things like that.
Like do they come in weekly?
They come in 3 times a week. And
3 times a week? Okay.
yeah, and so we are having them do some, and they're gladly taking on other responsibilities, but they're going to run out of things to do.
Yeah, because if you don't have patrons coming in, then it's not going to need it as much.
I would say by the end of this, probably by the end of May at least, we're not going to have the work for them to do. So I hate that. So we also are having we have a 10-year-old telephone system, and even we've had trouble just getting the messages updated on it, and we cannot forward a call, we can't transfer a call. So we've been trying to get telephone quotes figured out, and it comes at a bad time. You know, we're going into a year where we're not really financially sure what we're going to be up against. So I reached out to Spectrum and a company called UC. Spectrum is our current phone provider. We pay about $180 a month for our phone service right now, which is over regular lines. It's not voice over internet. And that includes our fax line as well. For the new phone system with Spectrum and UC, it would provide us with 10 new phones. These phones would be leased. We wouldn't be purchasing them outright, but it would also purchase it would lease all the equipment that's involved to do a VoIP telephone system. It would also, our phone system would operate on a total separate line than our internet service would. So we wouldn't be sharing our internet service with our phone line, which other companies do that they just add it to your current fiber internet line, and then you're competing with your computer usage and all the other things that you're using your internet for. So it is, if we had any problems with it, any of the equipment on site, they would come and replace it with no cost. So there's a $500 installation fee with that. The monthly cost for the leasing the phones and the the lines themselves is $333 a month. That would have to be a contract over 3 years, which would total $12,488. I reached out to MTCI. They also work with Spectrum, and priced the same thing through them, leasing the phones and the equipment. They do have a really good response time if something breaks down. And it's also on a separate line. It's not, your phone would be ran on its own separate fiber line. They have a $500 installation fee, a $250 training fee, and a $150 one-time wiring fee. So that would also be ran on a 3-year contract. It's $364 a month, which would amount to about $14,004 over 3 years. So this, and I don't think I sent you this quote, I just got this today. It's from a company called Vaspian. I reached out to them to see what it would cost to purchase the equipment ourselves, and to host that ourselves and not be web-based. And the monthly cost would be $340. The one-time cost to purchase the equipment, all of the phones, and then all of the special equipment they would need to install in the building would be $7,000, $7,110. Over the course of 3 years, that would be spending $19,350 to purchase it outright.
I have a question.
Then that means, oh, go ahead, Michelle.
I had written in here, so the $250 training webinar and the $150 wiring that MTCI has, is there any training involved with Spectrum with their $500 install?
Yes,
fee?
all the training would be free.
And the $150 wiring charge, all that is included in the $500 install fee from Spectrum.
Yes.
Yeah. So have you worked with Spectrum before with anything? Do we deal with them?
Yes, they are our current fiber internet provider and our phone service provider, and it would be great to keep with them.
Okay.
I think it is expensive. Now, if we wanted to kick the can down the road, we could limp along with our current system. It's 10 years old. It's on an analog line. It will probably get another year out of it. The problem is if it goes down, it's down. We don't have any, we're down for who knows how long until we can get a system coming in. And the thing is for them to come in and do a new system, we're looking at 2 to 3 months right now to get it installed if we go with one of these other companies. Another thing that I like about Spectrum and MTCI is that it's web-based. So even if like the building catches on fire and the phones burn up, we can get online and transfer our phone line to a private cell phone, and we can still have phone service. So.
What was the total for the 3 years for Spectrum? I'm sorry.
Spectrum and UC, that very first quote was the cheapest. It was $12,488 over the course of 3 years.
And the monthly cost is $333 because our agenda says $351.
I went back and looked at that. I had thought that they had only quoted us 8 phones, and they didn't. It was a 10 phone thing. So it was $333. So I had adjusted the quote on my first notes to reflect the 10 phones. So I added 2 phones to that.
So it's $30 cheaper than the other one.
Yes.
I'm good with Spectrum if everybody else is. If you are.
It's affirmative for me.
Fine with me. Are you making a motion, Michelle?
If do you all want to decide that we're doing this and not kicking it down the road and going ahead with it? If everybody wants to go forth with getting new phones, then yes, I will make the motion. Does anybody want to talk about not doing it?
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We have Michelle making the motion and
that-
Hannah seconded it.
I think that when we get back to running full speed ahead, we should have everything ready to go and in place where we can operate and efficiently and to the best of our abilities. So I think it would be, I don't know, putting it off would be that beneficial. So I'm for it too.
Well, I appreciate the forward thinking because we have dealt with a phone system that is been horrible the last 3 years, and it's just, I think it has limited the kind of services that we can provide. It's frustrating. You can't even update the message on the line. So
How quickly could Spectrum install?
it's still going to be about a 2 or 3 month project because they have to run the fiber line and get the equipment installed. So we are continuing our little library service. We are not accepting any donations through that right now, but we are working with Feed the Children, and they're providing some snacks to hand out to people through those. And we're looking to do some like grab and go activities that we can push out through those as well. I had Dudley Lush build us a little free library. He did our woodwork in the meeting room, did the baseboards. And so he built us a little free library, and he modeled it after our library. So it's really cute. I'll send you guys a picture when we get it done. He did a great job on that. Hopefully we'll have that installed in the next day or two. We're also working with Bedford Apartments to get a little free library there. We just purchased a cheap unit from Lowe's, and we already got approval from them. So hopefully that'll get installed in the next week or two. And we are working to purchase or to get one installed at Churchwood Apartments in Milton. We've just had a little bit more trouble getting a hold of their administrators there. So, so our collection, the library is renewing all our books, and any late fees that are being accrued right now, we're waiving those on movies. Our book drops are still open. We're following cleaning and quarantine guidelines for those. We have our whole meeting room set up for that and got a process going. We added heaters to that process. They come in the building, we heat them right away, and then they're put on tables. They're still quarantined, and then they're cleaned off with bleach solution and alcohol. We increased the amount of checkouts for Hoopla to 6 per month per card, and we're already getting calls from patrons that are like, we've hit our limit. We're halfway through the month and we need more checkouts. We've referred them to Overdrive, and they've expressed some frustration about there's so many people on hold for books through Overdrive that it's not helping our patrons at all right now, which is frustrating because we pay about $3,000 a year for that service. So we don't know if we should dump more money into that service. We can purchase ebooks just for our patrons. We're also looking into different services, gathering quotes for other databases that model Hoopla services, but we don't pay for each checkout. We checked into our RB Digital, and they offer ebooks, audiobooks, and several people can check those out at a time. So there's no holds on anything. It looks like it's coming in about $3,000 a year on that, which is what we're paying for Overdrive, but we wouldn't have to share that with the whole state of Kentucky. So we're also looking into a service called Pebble Go. It would provide nonfiction books for kids ages K through 3rd grade. It's about $900 a month. And I haven't got a price for Tumble Books, but Tumble Books is also an ebook service for kids. So the thing that we're running into is that we've got about $3,000 in print, our print book budget for the year, and we're running out of money in our electronic database budget. So if we could divert money from our book budget and our DVD budgets to purchase databases, that would be great. If you feel like we need to hold back and wait, we can do that too.
Programming budgets. since we're not, I mean, are you using a lot of programming money on these online programs, or what what the staff are working on, or is that also something that could be diverted because it's not being used?
We could
And
probably, yeah,
probably until the end of the budget,
yep.
in case you needed more
Yeah, I
funding.
think that we could divert some programming budgets as well to do that. I think we're going to be doing online services at least until, through the fall. And so I think it would be a good investment and see what's going to work for us.
So the Overdrive and Libby, we are competing with the whole state. And the Hoopla, we're paying for every checkout.
Just for our community, yes.
And it's only for Trimble County, or people that have a library card from that at our library.
Yes, our Hoopla service has almost doubled since we started this. We're paying about $250 a month right now for Hoopla services.
But it doesn't have everything.
No.
No, because I'm on hold for 3 weeks for books on Overdrive, and Hoopla doesn't have it.
So another
A lot of questions on that RJ Digital, or whatever it was, the digital one that you were talking about. What are the quality of books that are available on there? Is this like the discount section of Walmart that everybody's has all this access to, or are they actually books people are going to want to read?
That's what we're looking into. We're going to really look over that list tomorrow and make sure that it's actually, because that's our biggest thing is bestsellers. People want what's new and what's coming out. And if that's the case, then that's not going to be a good deal. We do have an advantage account through Overdrive. It's like a separate account. We can pay additional money to purchase our own copies of ebooks and only make them available to our customers. So we're looking at the advantages of that versus RB Digital and these other resources.
Okay.
So I just it'd probably be good if we had permission though to use money that's allocated for our print collection and DVDs and our programming to supplement our electronic database.
You need a motion on that?
Yeah, I think we do.
I make a motion to allocate funds from programming, books normally purchased to your online.
Mm-hmm.
Overdrive and Hoopla, whatever you decide to go with.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
We'll probably we might need to amend the budget on that. I'll have that for you at the next board meeting. So the library also, to help make it possible for people to work from home, we purchased 3 cell phones that actually ended up being about $2 a piece, but they have the ability to act as a hotspot. We purchased those from AT&T. The phone bill is about $45 a month, but it allows these staff members to work from home. These are all full-time staff members with children. They were on a data plan and we were burning through their data. So that is a month-to-month service that we can stop that anytime. So we go back to work in July or August, we can stop that. I had purchased 2 Verizon jetpacks to try to use those with our outreach vehicle, and they are on a FedEx truck stuck somewhere. They were going to charge us for the equipment and usage of it, and I canceled that because they couldn't tell me when they were going to get, and we were going to be charged for that service. So we'll have to go ahead.
I have a question on the hotspot phones used at home.
Mm-hmm.
Now you mentioned here that it's the hotspot is separate from the data usage, correct?
So this on the cell phones, it acts as a hotspot. It's the same device.
Right.
So, and we're charged a 1 month fee of, I think it's like $45 to run that phone or hotspot. Now, the ones from Verizon that we purchased, they were only hotspots. They could only be used as a hotspot. But
Okay.
we canceled those.
Yeah, I have my phone through Verizon. I have unlimited data usage, but a limited amount to be used as a hotspot.
Mhm.
And I couldn't figure that out for a while. I had to give them a call and say, hey, is this the way it works? And they said, yep, it's two separate things.
I think you cap out at 15 gigabytes or something like that on when you are hotspotting to your phone per month.
Say that again, please.
I think you cap out at like 15 GB or something like that, or
Okay.
MB, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You top out at that. Once you reach that on your monthly bill, they toggle your speed back and it goes back to not very good.
Yeah.
Where I live anyway.
Okay. So, but the ones that you have, it's unlimited hotspot usage?
I'm not sure if it is unlimited. It probably does max out.
Okay.
They're probably not maxing that. I mean,
Yeah, the problem
you're
is
streaming video a lot to
right,
use that up.
right, and our staff probably aren't streaming video except for their Zoom meetings. But the problem was is all of my full-time staff members that had data plans on their own phones and their own internet, they also had 4 to 5 people in their household that was using their plans for school and work. And yeah, it was impossible to work from home. So, okay. So there's a possibility next year that we might be able to partner with the schools in providing hotspots for students. Is this something that you guys would like me to pursue?
Did they approach you about this? Or is this something a state?
They did early last year, and my initial answer was they're expensive. And then we got into this mess, and I think that they're struggling with providing hotspots for their students to do online schoolwork. I think there's a possibility for a partnership there. But I don't know what that entails or what that looks like. I'm having a lot of trouble getting a hold of them.
I think it sounds like a good idea to investigate further. It brings, I see where it would bring up some of the students on more level playing field.
Does anybody else have any feedback on that?
I don't think it wouldn't hurt to get more information on it. See costs, projections.
Okay.
I mean, is it like purchasing one hotspot per student that needs one? Is that what the goal would be?
I think that's what they're trying to go towards is, or at least I think it would. That's going to be a tall order, though. I think 60% of their students don't have internet service at home. So I don't know what that looks like. So I can get more information. So I think they're just trying to get through this year. Really, they're struggling right now to keep all the kids engaged and turning things in. And so I don't know if they've even thought about next year. We might have to revisit this after we get our budget cleared at the end of June. So. So for programming, we are continuing our programs on Facebook. And like I said, we do have our program links on our website calendar now. We are trying to get together summer reading program. It's going to be scaled back, but it will be mostly online. If there is a chance that we can maybe have a parking lot activity in July or something, that would be great. But I really don't see that giving us, I don't know that we're going to have the clearance at the state level to do that right now. It doesn't look like, from KDLA, it doesn't look like we're going to be back to normal operating procedures by the end of May. So some of our vendors have reached out and say, yes, we're preparing for, online programs for our libraries. We're still getting that underway. So we did get notice from OVUC which Michelle's a part of. So OVUC sent the foundation a supplemental check for $2,700 to help with services for the program. So hopefully they would let us use maybe some of that to purchase some of the digital databases that we're having to come up with money for. I don't know, Michelle, do you know if there's any?
There won't be any stipulations on it. It was a bonus check from just money that we had left over. So it'll be just whatever the foundation decides they want to do with it.
We might reach out to the foundation then and say, hey, can you purchase this database for the year for us? That might be a good use of that money. So staff is doing well. We're all healthy. We did have a staff member whose father passed away last Saturday. It's up in Pennsylvania in a nursing home, and pretty sure that it was from COVID-19. So we're working together to comfort one another and make sure that we're all doing okay mentally and staying healthy. So it was hard news though. It was tough. Our stats are doing okay. As you can see, the hoopla circulation, it's about doubled since February, and that's March. We were closed down at the end of March, so I am guessing April is going to be higher than that. So our wireless sessions in the month of March were down a little bit from last year, but you have to consider we're still up there with sessions, even though our building's closed down. So people are using the internet connections to our building. So that's a good thing. And then the Milton branch, the red, the lower line is the computer sessions. That's how many people are going in to use the computer. So in March, it was still going strong. The wireless sessions is down just a little bit, but again, you're not seeing the traffic flow like we were in January and February. So people are still using library services, and that's a good thing. So does anybody have any questions or concerns?
No, but I will say, I think that you are handling this very well, Dina, and I appreciate your hard work and the staff's hard work. And hopefully this will all get back together, and we'll all be able to be together soon. And this will all be a bad memory. So
I appreciate the kind words, and we agree. We're so ready to get back to work. We miss our patrons. We miss the daily operations of the library services. So, and we appreciate you as board members. We really just so grateful to have a board that cares about our staff and cares about library services, and it's really wonderful. So.
All right, well, we sure do appreciate you. Stay safe. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make
I
it.
move.
So I got Michelle.
That's fine.
And then
I second.
okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.